Very good morning, all of you. I hope you are keeping yourself safe. You are keeping yourself strong and focused. So, I wish that the yesterday's paper, what you had, that paper you were able to solve that. There were certain areas where I would like to emphasize that how the MCQ people can frame the different questions related to those particular things and how they will make you commit some silly mistakes. So I personally feel that this paper was actually a mix of the single liner things what can be asked. This paper also had those clinical situations which need application of your knowledge. The concepts what you have gained in the class, you would have required those concepts to apply in solving these questions. So without wasting any further time, we'll straight on start with our discussion. Right. So if we take a look that this dysphagia lusoria is due to now the different options which the examiner has given to you: the aberrant common iliac, the aberrant right subclavian, the aberrant superior thyroid, the leiomyoma of the esophagus. We all know that this dysphagia lusoria is a condition wherein something like this happens. Now in this particular case, what is happening is, as you know, that whenever there is a aberrant right subclavian artery like this may press onto the esophagus, and this is going to cause dysphagia. So the reason for dysphagia in lusoria is this aberrant right subclavian artery which is pressing on the esophagus. This can be depicted on the barium swallow picture as well. What you are seeing here in this particular picture, there is a blood vessel which is pressing on the esophagus. So you can see that in this particular area, the esophagus has got narrowed. So basically, if the esophagus has got narrowed something like this, that is how it can lead to dysphagia. So basically, this dysphagia lusoria, we all know that's almost a single liner question here. And the options what have been given here, let's take a look at the different options. What I'll do is I'll keep myself a little small and right. Okay. Right, so this was dysphagia lusoria, and if you take a look at the different options, these are quite simple options here, and I would just like to reiterate that superior thyroid artery in anatomy question, that this is the first branch of external carotid artery. Now if you take a look at the different branches of the external carotid artery, there is a superior thyroid artery. Then there is lingual, facial, occipital, posterior auricular. There is a small ascending pharyngeal, and the terminal branches, the maxillary and the superficial temporal. Right, so these are the important branches of the external carotid artery which would be relevant for us. Now we move on to the second question. Now here in this particular question, I would like you to have a close look that a 70-year-old gentleman, each and every word you have to read very carefully. He is a 70-year-old gentleman, 70-year-old. After a sumptuous dinner, sumptuous means heavy dinner, he vomited terribly and was brought to the emergency within no time. तो बेटा here यहाँ पे ध्यान रखना, एक वर्ड में कुछ ना कुछ कैच आ रहा है. 70-year-old, sumptuous dinner means heavy meals, forceful vomiting, and he was brought in the emergency within no time. No time means immediately he was brought to the emergency. Now in the emergency, what happened? He was stabilized, investigated and diagnosed with a non-cardiac event. already the patient has been stabilized, investigated and diagnosed with a non-cardiac event. Now, what should be the definitive plan of management in this situation? So herein, first of all, we should know that what can be the diagnosis. I hope there is no doubt in making the diagnosis of this condition. This is a clear-cut picture that patient after heavy meals, forceful vomiting, he was brought in the casualty, there was no cardiac event. So this can be something which is related to Bohr-Havi syndrome. Bohr-Havi syndrome can be a possibility. Now, if Bohr-Havi syndrome is a possibility, you all know that in Bohr-Havi you can see here that the site of rupture is in the lower esophagus and it's a transmural rupture, right? So what should be done in this particular situation? Now, what should be done in this particular situation? Patient has been brought within no time. That means the chances of contamination would not be too much. So what we are supposed to do in the treatment of this Bohr-Havi syndrome? Should we go with conservative approach for Bohr-Havi? No. In Bohr-Havi syndrome, since there is esophageal rupture, there was a heavy meal, so vomiting would have leaked those gastric contents into the mediastinum. That means we have to do a thoracic lavage. That is very, very clear for us. The conservative non-operative approach is generally used for iatrogenic esophageal perforation. But here it is a rupture of the esophagus, Bohr-Havi syndrome. So we have to do a thoracotomy and we'll have to do a thoracic lavage. That is very clear. So conservative treatment is ruled out. Just a second. Hello. I'm sorry, I kept myself muted and went ahead. Thank you, Gauri, for reminding me. Herein, I would like to come back from where we started. We are just discussing a scenario of Bohr-Havi syndrome. In Bohr-Havi, when there is gastric content leaked into the mediastinum, there is a risk of mediastinitis and septicemia. So if you just look at your notes that what should be the management in Bohr-Havi syndrome, you are doing a thoracotomy, you are doing a thoracic lavage. Now closure, non-closure of the perforation depends on non-closure of perforation depends on the amount of contamination. If there is minimal contamination, if the patient presents to us early within 4 to 6 hours, then we can close the perforation. But if the patient comes to us late, say after 4 to 6 hours, then we believe there is gross contamination, and in such cases we should not put the sutures, otherwise the sutures will get infected. So in those situations you can just leave a drain, right beta? So herein the story is absolutely clear. This is a Bohr-Havi syndrome situation where the treatment will be thoracotomy, mediastinal lavage plus closure, non-closure will depend on the amount of contamination. If the patient comes to us early, less contamination, you can close. But if the patient comes to us late, then because of the contamination, because of the infection, you just leave a drain in situ, right? So the correct answer for this question will be D, that is operative with thoracic lavage and closure of the leak. Now let's move on to another question. Now beta, I think this is also a clear-cut question wherein the pseudoeclasia is seen with. So pseudoeclasia, what is pseudoeclasia basically? We know eclasia cardia can be segregated into three types. One is a primary eclasia, another is a secondary eclasia, and in the secondary eclasia we can include the pseudoeclasia also. Now primary eclasia is something where the cause of eclasia is not known. Secondary eclasia, it is secondary to some diseases like diabetes, Chagas disease, even scleroderma. That is a type of secondary eclasia. Now pseudo, though it is classified under secondary, but pseudo is a condition where there is no pathology of the esophagus as such. Esophagus की कोई problem नहीं है, but there is somebody around the esophagus which is trying to press the esophagus. So generally the tumors in the mediastinum or maybe tumors of the cardia of stomach, they might be pressing on the lower esophagus and they are causing a traffic jam type of situation. That is why we use the specific word pseudo. So pseudo is for something outside the esophagus, though it is classified under secondary eclasia, but pseudo means no pathology of the esophagus, something outside the esophagus. For example, tumors in the mediastinum or tumors from the cardia of the stomach. So यहाँ पे what you are getting is tumor infiltration. Tumor infiltration is something which you can mark as the correct answer here, right beta? Tumor infiltration. Okay, but remember in the MCQs 31st of August you might get mediastinal tumors in the option, or you might get tumors originating from the cardia of stomach. इसको ध्यान रखना बेटा. Okay, so the correct answer for this question is C for Chennai, that is tumor infiltration, right?